Okay. Today's video, this is one of the ones I wanted to do for fun because this is just a fun one. But it's also, I hope this is useful and sparks more things in people's lives. Plant seeds. Plant seeds of possibilities. So, am I in this? Okay. Today I wanted to talk about gifts, talents, and abilities. You could say of the spirit, but technically the spirit and the physical are completely interconnected. So the gifts of the spirit manifest in physical. So it's all interconnected. So I'm just going to say gifts, talents, and abilities. First of all, again, a lot of this is going to be seed planting because a lot of people are in a place where they would just say, "You're crazy, lady." Like, you're nuts. Living in La La Land. But I myself have experienced some of these things. And I know of people that can do some of these. Like, I've been shown kind of this beautiful picture of when we start to tap in, when we start to connect to our higher self, when we start to tap into God's source, our God within, partner with Jesus Christ, we can do the amazing godlike powers. Like, we have that ability here on earth. And I have a few things I'll tell you about at the end. Okay, let me just get into some examples and stories. So there have been, this one's kind of fun. And this isn't a full range of all the different abilities and gifts. There are so many. I'm just giving you a few I've had contact with, experienced, just a few fun ones that I'm learning about and growing in my own gifts and abilities. I don't like to call them gifts because anyone could use any of these. It's not that Bobby over here was gifted this amazing gift of whatever. And, I wish I could have Bobby's gifts. Like, the truth is, all of us, we all signed up to do different things. And so some gifts will come more naturally to us than others because of our soul plan in using those gifts. So, anyway, let me just get started. So, there have been a couple times in my life where I have found myself in a cold environment. I will say it wasn't completely freezing. It wasn't like 15 below or anything like that. Just where I was cold. And I have a couple experiences with this where I was feeling cold. And in both of these, like 3 different times, I was kind of guided, Karen, practice. Do this, because you actually do have to practice. Practice your heat bubble. So I was kind of shown this. Again, this goes beyond what we've been taught in our world, such as what's possible, what's not, what's real, what's not. Because there's a lot of things that are on this list of this is not possible, this is not real, this is fantasy, this is, this whole list of things we've been led to believe that, science says this and this. And so people grow up having no clue what we as gods within really can do when we partner with God, when we partner with our angel team. We can work miracles beyond miracles. And that's why people love reading about the miracles in the Bible, because we go, that's so cool. But guys, we are the same human beings as they were. We have the same potential. And again, at the end, I'm going to tell you some of the things, some of the requirements to be able to even use gifts and to, yes. So anyway, I was told a few times to use my heat bubble to learn this more because I've had all my doubts in my mind, okay? Well, I was shown, Karen, you can do something called a heat bubble. And And so there's so much story to go with this. I can't tell you all the stories that got me to this point. But I'll just tell you. I can't tell you all the stories that got me here. But anyway, so these different times, I found myself cold, and I was shown that you can put a bubble of heat around your body. Okay? And so in these moments, I was told, Karen, practice the heat bubble. We kind of showed you this. And so in this moment, I'm like, okay. So these circumstances, I was shivering. I was like, it's cold. And so I, following my guidance, I was like, okay, I put a heat bubble around myself to encompass my entire body. And I encompass myself within this heat bubble. And in this heat bubble is perfect warmth. Okay? And then, what else did I say? In this heat bubble is perfect warmth, and no cold can enter. And I do this in the name of Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm repeating you to what I said. And then, get this, guys. So I'm cold, and then I put this heat bubble on. I was being guided to do this, and all of a sudden, boom, my body was warm. It was warm. The chills immediately disappeared. My feet, because in a couple of these, my feet were really cold. My toes were cold. All of a sudden, the icy chill in my feet, gone. So my entire body was warm. Still in the cold environment, yes. But just, and it took me a bit to get to this point because I've always been in the physical world where you have to have a coat. To get warm, you need a fire. You need this, you need that. And I will say, always be prepared. Never bank on these miracles. Always be prepared. Like, get your firewood stocked up. Get your super warm clothing. In case something happens, you just always need to be prepared. Never just bank on miracles. Like, well, I'll work miracles when the time comes. No. You need to get prepared. Be completely prepared. And in that situation, then you can be relaxed enough to even begin to do this. So anyway, I did this heat bubble. And so I went from just cold and shivering to boom, warm. And oh guys, in these moments, I started crying. It was so amazing because it's shocking. Guys, isn't that shocking to you? I don't know who's watching this, but if most people would find this unbelievable, just like, okay, heat bubble. I'm sharing things that I've had in my life so I can plant some sort of a seed so you guys can know these are just tiny examples of what we can do. Okay. So anyways, this heat bubble, it worked. The few times I did it, it worked completely. And I was just in tears. In gratitude, tears, thank you. And it was amazing. I will tell you, none of these situations were dangerous. I was near my home. None of these, I wasn't out in the wilderness or anything. So it wasn't actually a necessity. It was Karen, you need to practice these things. And I've been told tonight to share them with you. Okay, so that heat bubble. I was completely warm. And again, I was just like, thank you. I don't know why I keep being shown these things. Well, I do, but it still is shocking. So that is very much an ability that we as great light beings on this earth are capable of. And I'm sure it could work the other way. If you found yourself in a desert, you don't have to die. You could put a cool bubble on you. Okay, so you would just say whatever comes to you. Say, I encase my entire body in a bubble of cool air or coolness so that I do not overheat in this desert situation if you're in a desert or something. Okay, so that was one. Another one I've been exposed to is living without eating. This, and again, this is planting a seed because there may come a time where you don't have food. Imagine yourself caught in some Who knows? I mean, say you've got your food storage at home. Say you're massively prepared and you're growing food and you've got your own animals, whatever it is. That's beautiful and wonderful and good. But what if, while driving in a car, your car got stuck or you crashed and you found yourself in the wilderness without food? Okay? So this is just, I'm just kind of showing this possibility. Because you never know, you could get to the point where you actually don't need food. There are people on this planet that do not eat. At least they don't have to. Some of them will drink juice for fun, or just, just kind of for fun. Have some fresh fruit or fresh vegetables for fun. Usually these people don't eat meat or dairy or grains. And I'm not saying you don't need to eat those things, because those things are actually a part of my family's diet right now. But they're lighter in frequency. They have more light in them than some of the denser meats and things. But anyway, so there is a real possibility of living without eating. A lot of these people, they all get sunshine, lots of sunshine, because in light is life. So when you are in the sunshine, you can actually have a form of photosynthesis that plants have. I think. Okay. I hear noises. I'm like, oh no, is everything okay? I think that's okay. Anyway, yes. So light, absorbing light. I would say the biggest part here is believing. The biggest part here is being connected to your own divine essence, your own divine within, and connected to your guides. And so it changes to, I don't need food. I am fully nourished on light. Okay? Because our spirits don't need light. And our bodies can raise the frequency to a point where our bodies can be nourished on light and much closer to our spirit's frequency. And that's really amazing, okay? Especially with all the things we know in this world. By the way, people have been on this earth. There have been civilizations. Most people don't know about these. But there have been small pockets of civilizations that did not eat. And these people were very spiritual, very highly attuned to nature. And their own gifts and abilities of all sorts of things were very strong because they didn't have that density of food kind of weighing them down. Anyway, just sharing that as that is a possibility to live without food. Okay. And a lot of these people do eat for pleasure off and on because they can. I know some guys who don't need food, and they, every now and then they will visit a restaurant because their friends and family have some sort of thing at a restaurant. And so they will go eat a meal they don't normally eat because they're not eating regularly. And yeah, they don't feel that well for a couple days after, maybe a few days, but it was worth it to be with their family and their friends. And so it's not that you never... Okay, I think that's okay. It's not that you never, ever want food again, because you can. Anyway, that's another one. Another gift that I've kind of been shown is called remote viewing. It is where you are very connected. So you've got to be very centered in your own light, and centered and connected to God. And it's called remote viewing, where you can, and again, this is a seed of possibility. You could go and do this right now. You could, but my guess is a lot of people won't. They'll just be like, oh, that's interesting. But it's planted. Because if there comes a time in your future when you need to see what's going on in a different city, a different country, maybe you have family that you need to check on them and see if they're okay. This is absolutely possible. There are people on this earth doing this. Remote viewing. So it's where you could you could go within. And so you tap in, and within your mind's eye, you can go and check and view a different place on this earth. Okay? Just a minute. Did I push it? Is it going? Yeah. Sorry. I thought I heard water pouring. I'm like, oh no. Did a pipe burst or something? It's fine. I just won't want to sit and flood while I'm sitting here chatting away. Okay. So yes, it's where you within can look at another place. Just think of it as a camera, spiritual camera. So, say there's been a disaster in some part of the world and you have family there and you want to check and see if they're okay or something. You have to have pure intention to do this. You can't use this gift for fun or for bad purposes. Okay? Like your divine guides, your divine team, they're not going to work with you if you don't have 100% pure heart, pure intentions. So you can't just peep in on somebody. Okay? I know some dark people are hacking the gifts of beautiful children and using their remote viewing gifts for dark purposes. And that's just horrible. There are children that are naturally talented in a lot of these, and dark beings, evil people on this planet are tapping into their gifts and controlling these children because they want to hack their beautiful gifts and talents. But anyway, so you can check in on other people or for whatever reason. I mean, I can't even think of a lot of reasons, but I'm sure a lot of people have different reasons where they would want to remotely view somewhere else in the world or even just somewhere else in the city or, wherever. That is a real talent, gift, an ability that people are using today. Seeing the future. Not everybody wants this. I've never been interested in this. I have a child that has glimpses of things and they've happened. And this is very real. To have dreams of futures, of things that could happen in the future. And so, again, very real, happening today. There are numerous people that get glimpses of the future. The one thing that I have, so I've asked about this to God and my guides. I've asked well, why would people want to know the future? And they said that this one is tricky because often there are things in your future you cannot know because, for example, you may have signed up to do something very difficult at a future date in your life. And if you were to know about that now and you didn't want to do what future event you said you would do, you would fight against it. So, imagine someone that chose to do something very difficult. Maybe help a whole bunch of people, maybe even sacrifice their life to save a ton of people. If they saw that, they would, their current selves would be like, I'm not doing that. No way I'm doing that. And they would fight against it. So yes, there are places and times to get glimpses of your future. And like I said, a lot of children are gifted in this just naturally. Like they will have a dream and they'll say, Mom, this happened in the dream and this and this. And I've seen some of these come to pass. And I'm like, that scripture? There's a scripture that says your old men will dream dreams and your young children will have visions, stuff like that. Yeah, it's happening. It's real. That's just one I wanted to cover briefly because you can get glimpses into your future through prayer. I personally don't, but I'm living day to day in joy. Each day's better than the last. And so I'm not even worried what my future holds. We're preparing and getting ready for the worst eventualities that could happen. So be prepared. But another one, this one's interesting. And I was actually kind of surprised. So I was praying and talking to God, and I was asking some of my children's gifts and talents. And one of them was fascinating. I was told that my daughter came into this life with a natural ability to move things with her mind. Okay. Are they injured? We have a lot of boys, so it's always like, is everyone okay? Move things with her mind. And at first I thought, well, why would you need that? Why would you want to, move things with your mind? Like, I couldn't really get that one. But then, of course, I was shown different things like if a building collapsed in an earthquake and you needed to move a huge cement pillar up, but you did not have the manpower or the horsepower or whatever. You didn't have a machine. You didn't have a way to get this up. You could absolutely move that with your mind. I was also shown, and this was fascinating to me, Stonehenge. Stonehenge was built with this gift and this ability of moving things, moving huge rocks with, and I don't want to say just mind power. It's actually your spirit. And you have to be connected. You have to be a very high frequency, like connection, to be able to do this kind of thing. So it's a partnership with your divine team. Okay. And so anyway, imagine all the different things. I've even had thoughts of, like, think of this. Say you want to get a bunch of firewood for winter, but for some reason things are shut down. You're not able to drive your car. You're not able to whatever. Imagine lifting 6 or 7 huge dead logs out of the forest and calling them to you and bringing them through the air. Do you know how long it would take to go get 6 huge trees, dead trees, and bring them so you could chop them? Imagine doing that with your spiritually, bringing those big trees and things to chop. So there's numerous ways that you could use that gift. Anyway, my daughter has that. She will be using that in her life, okay? And I actually asked, so I asked when I was learning all this, I was like, well, what about practicing? Because they told me numerous things that kind of need to be in line to be able to do these things. And well, I said, well, what about practicing? And they said, absolutely, you can absolutely practice. Because I always imagined in my mind some sort of emergency, like Moses got to the river, emergency, we need to cross the river. So I always imagined an emergency where something comes up and you've got to use it on the fly. But I was told you can actually practice. Again, you have to be with the pure intention. So you at home could be practicing honing this gift, like she will be, in moving things. You know, it's a loving relationship. It's a loving partnership. Guys, it's so beautiful. So the movies show it like, I'm going to move that rock with my mind. Bzzz, and, you know, whatever mind power comes out and the rock moves. It's not like that. It's this beautiful partnership with Mother Earth, with that rock, with your divine guides. What it looks like is, I love you, rock. You are beautiful. Thank you for your presence. I am learning to move things. Will you move over here for me so I can learn this talent more? It's this synergistic relationship. It's so amazing. Okay, moving things with mine. Yeah, again, I know this sounds weird. It's like, oh, well, you're lost in the movies. But no, guys, people are doing these. We all have the potential. Were we to need this, if any of these like call you, like you're like, ding, 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 I need that gift, I feel called towards that ability, then you can start praying about it. You can say, I feel so strong that I need to do this. Or, you know, I feel so called to one day not having to eat physical food to survive, like living on light. Whew. then you can start praying about it and say, is this something I'm going to do in the future? Do I need to start practicing with, shorter fast, longer fast? How do I, another one, and this one I thought was interesting to ask about, teleportation, where you take, and again, this is this synergistic relationship. You don't just pop here and pop there like the movie show. What it is you have to have a very pure intent to be appearing somewhere else. So you would be leaving your current physical space. Remember, everything's connected. Everything is energy. The air we breathe is energy. Our hands are energy. Everything is energy. So all you're doing is kind of flipping the energy different ways. I know it sounds crazy, like a human being disappearing from this spot and appearing over in a different state. It sounds crazy to just kind of the scientific, untrained mind, untrained of higher, more spiritual things. But you're just moving energy. Okay, guys? So again, I tend to think in terms of need. So imagine a disaster. Imagine you heard some city had a massive flood. And say this city is where one of your children lives, your adult children. And you feel called to go help them, find them, and maybe help other people in that area. And you couldn't possibly get there on foot or on horse or on cart, whatever it is. And so you're moving energy. You're saying, I choose to change the energy where I am now, change the vibration, and I am going to appear energetically in the city where my children live. And so it's this, it's a beautiful spiritual thing. It's not like the movie show, but that is a real possibility. It's an ability, okay? And again, I know this is seed planting because it's like, okay, that's nice. See ya, I gotta go do normal stuff. Okay, there are so many more spiritual gifts and abilities. I want to tell a quick instance. There was this lady, she went to one of these fasting clinics, and she was trying to get rid of some chronic illnesses that she had. And she found herself at this fasting clinic, one of the ones over, I think, in Ukraine. And she did a 14-day fast. Okay, so they have kind of different sets of fasts for whatever you're trying to clear. The lady and the people and the guides, they help pick the fast that you need the most. Well, her issues needed a 14-day fast. So this woman fasted for 14 days, and it was amazing. She came out of that 14-day fast with the ability. She already had this, but she had cleared all the blocks and all the things that were in the way from her manifesting this gift, okay? Ability. It's not like, oh, I was given this wonderful gift. Like, we all could, if we needed to, have this same ability. But, so she came out of this fast with the ability to read minds. So when she came in contact with a person, she could hear their thoughts. She was actually tapping into their thought stream and hearing what they were thinking. And it was really interesting because she was fasting just to heal. She wasn't fasting to gain spiritual gifts like this. And she went home, okay, with this gift of reading minds. And within, oh my goodness, it was like 2 or 3 weeks, she could not handle this. She could not handle it because most people don't think kind, loving thoughts. I know we act kind towards each other. You go to the store and you smile at the cashier and you smile around at people. And there are some of us in a higher place, in in a higher frequency place where we actually are feeling love for everyone in that store. So I'm not blaming, I'm not putting this on everybody, but there are a lot of people out there that are not thinking kind and happy, loving thoughts, even spouse to spouse. Actually, that's probably more common to have negative thoughts there sometimes. And children to parent. Think of all the places where people think negative things. Anyway, this poor woman, within like 2 to 3 weeks, she was on her hands and knees praying. She's like, please take this away. It's slightly humorous, but it's also sad because hearing people's thoughts was one of the worst things she couldn't handle it, because a lot of people aren't kind and loving in their thoughts. And it was just driving her nuts. She's like, I'm done. I don't want to know what people think. So she actually prayed and prayed. And I think the next day this gift disappeared. So this ability she had opened up through fasting, she's like, I don't want it. Take it away. And it was taken from her, or it was masked or whatever. So she didn't have it anymore. I thought that was really interesting. Now, here's another one I want to share, personal experience. So one day I went out. Numerous times I've gone out and this has happened. But one day I was called to do a bigger shield than I've ever done. So one day I walked outside and the sun was shining and I looked up and I saw the chemtrails. Tons of chemtrails. I was just surprised, like, seriously? I kid you not, there must have been like 7 or 8 different stripes across the sky in different patterns, or not patterns, but different stripes. You know, the chemtrails where they're putting the junk into our atmosphere. And in this moment, because I've done shields against me, shields blocking the chemicals from reaching me, my family, our home, our property. In this one moment, okay, this one, I'd never done a huge one, but I was guided. I was like, the guidance was coming. Karen, shield more people against this. And so I just knew. I knew. Like, in those moments, it's not like, I don't know if it'll work. It's just this, it's like this complete connection. And I knew, and I said, I put up a shield of light, a shield of white light over, and I'm not going to tell you how big the area was, but over a massive area, okay? A massive area of land to completely shield all the humans and residents in this area of land from the chemtrails. And I leave this shield on for 30 days straight. And then I felt the buzzing in my hands. I felt the buzzing and the burning in the heart, like boom. And I knew it had worked. I was like, oh my goodness. So I had to go to God. I'm like, did that just work? Yes. And I'm like, did it really cover all the area I said for it to cover? Boom. Yes, Karen, it did. And I was like, is it really going to stay on for 30 days? And again, boom, the really strong answer within. Yes, Karen, it's going to stay on perfectly and completely 100%, blocking the chemtrails for the large area of land I had asked it. I had put this shield up to block and guard, to save all the people. And so it shielded all the people down here in their houses and everything. This shield shielded the chemtrails from getting to all the residents within that area. And I just, again, in tears, like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys, we are limitless. We came down here. I know I say this all the time, but we are gods within. We came down here to work miracles. And again, healing miracles. One of those is healing miracles is what we are capable of. Blocking chemtrails, we are capable of that. These gifts I've talked about, we are all capable of this. If any of this interests you, pray about it. Start to pray about it. But later on, so I asked later on, again, prayed about this again, and I said, did it really work? And guys, my angel team, my guides came through very strong. They're like, Karen, it worked completely. And they were telling me that again to illustrate, give me witness after witness of, Karen, you're waking up to your abilities. You have the ability to protect all these wonderful, amazing human beings from the chemtrails. And that was just, to me, it was so amazing. Okay. Again, there are limitless gifts and talents. Limitless. I mean, you could have gifts and talents in growing trees and plants really quickly. Think of anything. Think of all the different things you want to help others and do in your life. Even with emergencies like parting a Red Sea. Okay, guys? And I know a lot of people, they look at all these miracles in other different places like, well, that's Moses. But guys, Moses was a human. He was God within. Was he amazing? Was he connected? Yes, he's amazing. But he served as an example for us. Okay? And I repeat a lot of the same stuff. Okay, let me go to the things they told me. When I was asking about this, I was saying, how do we tap into these gifts? What do we need to do? Like, not just, you can't just up and do it out of nowhere, can you? Like, what do you need to do to prepare to even begin to access abilities powerful like this? And they gave me 3 different things. The most important things to be able to part the Red Sea, to be able to miraculously heal someone that's dying, or miraculously heal some chronic disease, okay? Because these are powerful. I'm seeing these. My husband and I are very involved in healing miracles. That's a big thing in our life. I'm not parting water right now, but the healing miracles are very much a part of what we're working with, okay? And everyone can do this. Everyone can have healing miracles. But so some of the things they said to be able to tap into these gifts and use them and understand more about it is they said you do need pure intention. So you actually have to have a pure heart. I already said that earlier, but I'm just going to cover them again. Pure intention. You must be using your gift to do good. So usually that's helping people, okay? So think of all the different ways, even like living without food. Imagine how much you could help others if you didn't need to eat. Imagine how much you could help others if you didn't need to sleep. I mean, when we're talking about serving others, loving others and serving others, think of what you could do if you didn't need to sleep very much at all and you didn't need to eat. Imagine how much food storage would be saved for your children if you didn't need to eat that adult portion of the food storage. It is so selfless. Opening up these gifts and powers, it's not a selfish, it is not an ego trip. It is not knowing we have these godlike powers within, knowing that Jesus wants us to wake up to our powers. Jesus wants us. We can assist him more when we wake up to our own gifts and powers on this earth. And when I say power, I don't mean a selfish power like in the movies. I want power! Not like that at all. The ability to heal, the ability to remotely view to see if people need help, the ability to move a massive building off tons of injured people so you can get to the injured people using your mind and heart. Like, can you see how this is not selfish? It's not selfish at all. Miraculously healing people is not selfish. Anyway, so you can help Jesus Christ more when you can do more. And that's why the message he keeps giving me is, you can do what I can do. Okay? It's not, it changes from kind of looking up to even Jesus and saying, oh, please help me. Please give me your power. Please, please. It changes from kind of this pleading, bestow your power upon me. Do you see the difference? What it turns into is standing next to the Savior, linking arms with him. Because this is what he wants us to do, guys. This is what he's hoping. He's moving us towards this. And everyone goes through different levels and everyone's at different places in their life. I totally get that. But it changes from kind of this pleading, begging, kind of on your knees, like, give me your power, show me. And that's okay. I'm not, everyone's on their own different place and path. And I'm not saying anyone's doing it wrong. I promise you guys. There's a time and a place for everything. But it does change. It does change to look like this. You've got your arms linked with the Savior. And you're working with him. It's a team. It turns into this teamwork effort. And that's why these miracles and the power of putting a heat bubble on yourself so you're not going to freeze. And so if you found yourself in a freezing situation, you don't have to die. And then you're not in need. You're not needing help. You're able to give help. Okay? And so waking up to our power, it's not selfish. It's not selfish. We can do more good. Oh, it's so just wow. Let me go back through these things. So you need pure intention, a pure heart, pure reasons to be doing what you're doing. So love. It's all about true, pure love. The kind of love that would go into a leper colony and help people with leprosy, knowing you could get the disease, helping clean wounds that to you may be utterly repulsive, and yet having so much love, you would do that for that leper that cannot pay you back. Okay? This is like pure love, true love, not kind of the romantic love. Our world has that word kind of messed up. So you have to have pure love, pure intentions. Number 2, you need to be in a high vibration. So you actually need to be you need to be in a centered place. And I will say you can get there very quickly. Like, again, in emergency situations, you could find yourself working a miracle without being in, because I know some people might think, well, you need to be meditating for days to be in. No. But it does help if you keep yourself in a higher vibration. And this is done through prayer, meditation, connection. It turns into this really powerful knowing, like every cell of your body knows it. Your spirit is so connected. It's like, I cannot put words into this. But, so if you're in this place of doubting everything, like, think of a kind of a unhappy doubting, you're not going to be able to tap in at that moment. Like, you actually need to center yourself and be in the high vibration. Call your divine team in, that's 3. So 1's pure intentions, 2 is high vibration. Being more centered, being in a healthier, happier place. You can tell when you're in a very high vibration, when you feel such peace, such joy. It's really strong. You feel it. And it's like every cell of your body feels this perfect peace and joy. I hear a child coming. My last one is partnered. Beth! My last one is to be partnered and connected with your divine team. I gotta go help a girl. It is a partnership. If you look to Jesus Christ, you partnership with him. I don't always call him Christ because he's told me, you've got this, Karen. So I call on my divine team. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. So a lot of people tend to look towards Jesus, and that's great and wonderful. But he's told me, like, you've got this. So I usually I talk to God and I call in my divine team. Okay. And we all have light beings and angels. And she quieted down. Hear that? Anyway, so it's a partnership with your divine team. So it's not just you working the miracle. You've got a lot of light beings on the other side doing it with you. Okay. So yes, your spirit. Oh, Beth, I spoke too soon. Anyway, wow, we're at 45 minutes. Anyway, these miracles, these gifts, talents, abilities, they're real. They're happening to a lot of people. I'm planting a seed in you. So if something in your mind or your heart is like, I feel like I need to do this someday or whatever, you can pray. Connect to your divine team, connect to God and ask. Yes, thank you. So much fun. I love doing videos for fun. It's so nice to do the fun ones and not church darkness ones. I got those done. I may have to do another one, but for right now, I've been told you don't need to do any of those. Those two that I did for now, from what I'm being told, is all I need to do right now. I love the fun, happy ones. Yay, woohoo. Okay, thanks guys.